What would you do to beat Terence Crawford that no one has been able to do yet?
Just counter the speed and hard punches and
Smiling.
welcome back to Los Angeles.
What happens when a 46-year-old boxing legend with nothing left to prove decides he's not done just yet? And what unfolds when a pound-for-pound superstar, daring to chase greatness 2 weight classes above his own, teams up with that same legend, training? In the very gym where champions are made? This isn't just a sparring session. It's a clash of eras. Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford, the iconic wildcard gym. Welcome to boxing's most surprising new alliance.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, Manny.
Boss.
Miss you.
You're looking in tremendous shape. You're ready to fight.
Crawford isn't at wildcard for a nostalgia trip. He's there to prepare for battle. A bold, almost unthinkable leap to 168 pounds to face Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, the man who shatters ribs with a single shot, whose record reads like a graveyard of dreamers who dared to challenge him. Crawford understands exactly what's on the line. So why turn to Pacquiao? A legend, yes, but one who hasn't fought at the elite level since being outpointed by Denis Ugaz in 2021. Because Pacquiao was once the man who defied the odds and dismantled giants. He knows what it takes. And Crawford knows he'll understand.
Hard punches and strong punches and moving around like side by side and throwing a lot of punches.
And let's not forget, Pacquiao isn't just hanging around the gym. He's in full fight mode, preparing for a world title clash against Mario Barrios, a fighter 16 years his junior, with younger legs and more recent time under the lights. Barrios is no easy mark. He's a modern, well-schooled boxer, tall, rangy, comfortable trading in the pocket, and hungry enough to build his name off someone else's legacy. But Manny? He's training like it's 2008 all over again, sprinting, up mountains, pounding the mitts and sweating through shirts in a gym steeped in more blood, grit, and triumph than some entire boxing halls of fame.
He's a generational, talented fighter, but I don't feel like, he did it on his own.
Pacquiao and Crawford aren't just shadowboxing through memories. They're chasing something real. Call it history, call it legacy, call it one last shot at greatness before the curtain drops. Whatever it is, they're all in. This isn't Rocky and Creed messing around for old time's sake. This is steel sharpening steel. Crawford, the technician, fights with surgical precision. Every punch is placed like a component in a high-performance engine. But training beside Pacquiao injects a new element, controlled chaos. The same frantic, unpredictable rhythm that Pacquiao used to dismantle elite fighters for 2 decades. If Crawford wants to beat Canelo, power and speed won't be enough. He'll need to disrupt the rhythm, flip the script. That's why Pacquiao's there, not to coach, but to inspire.
Steroids. Really, the Mayweathers questioned it and drilled them on it, and that made people pick a side.
Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao is chasing something most fighters wouldn't dare to imagine, winning a world title at 46. Not in an exhibition, not against a retired athlete from another sport. A real sanctioned WBC title fight in today's welterweight division. That's not just bold, it's outrageous. And yet there he is, gloves laced, sweat pouring, eyes locked in. He's not easing into it with soft sparring or faded names. He's trading leather with Terence Crawford, the undefeated technician, the switch-hitting nightmare. Think Barrios hits harder than Crawford? Faster? Not a chance. Pacquiao's sparring is likely more intense than the fight itself. In training, he's battling more than an opponent. He's fighting off youth, fatigue, and doubt. And so far, he's winning.
Say that means Pacquiao was on something. And the reason why is because Pacquiao may have been the most tested fighter of all time.
Crawford's gaining just as much from this as Manny. He's preparing to face a pressure machine in Canelo, a fighter who never stops coming forward. To survive that, Crawford needs to feel what it's like to deal with non-stop offense from awkward, unpredictable angles, and Pacquiao gives him that in spades. It's not just the punches, it's the chaos. The sudden shifts in rhythm, the deceptive footwork, the way he fakes left, then lands a straight right from dead center. This isn't typical cross-training. This is graduate-level work for elite fighters. And Freddie Roach sees it all. The wildcard gym isn't just a place. It's a crucible, a space where champions are either forged or broken. Roach isn't interested in sentimental comebacks. He's in it to win. Watching Crawford and Pacquiao train side by side is the kind of synergy you'd expect in a movie, but it's happening now, in real time, and nobody's coasting. Mario Barrios better be paying attention. If he's expecting an old, sluggish Manny, he's in for a rude awakening. That wasn't the real Pacquiao in the Ugas fight. That was rust, inactivity, and a body not yet reawakened. What we're seeing now is fire. Old fire, maybe, but the kind that burns hotter because it knows the end is near. And that kind of fire, that's the most dangerous of all. It doesn't care about age. It doesn't respect the odds.
Failed the test. Floyd did. So you're talking about a situation where now you're just saying he's so good.
For Crawford, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't a comeback fight. It's a direct march into enemy territory. He's stepping into Canelo's house, into a division where punches aren't just thrown. They're absorbed, digested, and returned with interest. In this weight class, jabs bruise ribs and pressure breaks wills. And in that gym, only one man truly knows what that feels like. Manny Pacquiao. He's been there. He's faced that storm. And won. Crawford knows that kind of experience is priceless. So he's soaking it all in. The two have found a rhythm. Something that's not quite coach and student. Not quite equals. It's something rarer. A mutual respect born from shared greatness. There's no ego here. Not when both are staring down the kind of monsters that end careers. There's laughter in the gym, sure. But also quiet moments. Long, knowing glances between rounds. Nods that say everything without a word. They understand each other in a way few ever will. And make no mistake, this is history in motion. Years from now, people won't remember Pacquiao's last fight as a novelty. Not if he wins. If he pulls it off, it won't just be a victory. It'll be the stuff of legend, the kind of feat that makes myths look small. And if Crawford beats Canelo, forget it. Just start carving his face into boxing's Mount Rushmore.
He's so good that he must be on something. But number two, Crawford said Pacquiao was knocking everybody out until he took the test. That was a...
There's something undeniably poetic about it. The oldest man in the gym, grinding for one last shot. The best fighter in the world preparing for his toughest test. They're not together out of necessity. They're drawn to each other by something deeper. A shared unspoken truth. Warriors don't fade. They evolve. Don't believe the noise. This isn't a circus act. Pacquiao isn't chasing paydays. If that were the goal, he could be raking in millions fighting influencers. In exhibitions. But he chose this. He chose a real opponent. A real belt. A real risk. Crawford didn't need to fly to LA, but he did. Because he respects Manny. Because he understands the value of training alongside the man who redefined what small fighters could achieve in a big man's game. Crawford sees what most overlook. Pacquiao still has speed. He still has timing. And more than anything, he still has the hunger to outwork everyone in the room. At 46, when you've still got all three, you're not finished. You're dangerous.
Everybody out until he took the test. That was a damn lie. Pacquiao power went down after he went up. Pacquiao didn't knock out anybody at welterweight. That had nothing to do with the test. He went up and he ain't knocked anyone out.
Meanwhile, Mario Barrios is preparing for a version of Manny Pacquiao the world hasn't seen in years. Refocused, undistracted, and fully committed. No politics, no Senate duties, just Manny, gloves on, locked in with tunnel vision. And that's what makes him dangerous. He's not overlooking Barrios, he's zeroed in on him. He knows the age gap. He hears the talk, the odds, the predictions. It doesn't rattle him. He's been here before. He's silenced doubters before. And now he's ready to do it one last time. Back in the gym, there's no pacing, no holding back. Crawford and Pacquiao are going full throttle. Every session is all gas, no brakes. Crawford is ripping combinations lifted straight from Pacquiao's old highlight reels. Pacquiao, in turn, is studying Crawford's slick footwork, adapting it in real time. It's a masterclass, raw and unfiltered. No cameras, no media circus, just two all-time greats pushing each other, learning from each other, and leaving nothing behind.
He went up and he ain't knocked anyone out at welterweight. Oh, he knocked out Ricky Hatton. That was at 140. Floyd knocked out Ricky Hatton. So that doesn't say that Pacquiao had steroid power. He wasn't knocking out anybody. Yeah, he was beating them up.
They're not just building hype, they're building legacies. There's no blueprint for what they're doing, no manual on how to be 46 and still world class, no guidebook for jumping 2 weight divisions to face boxing's most dangerous man. They're inventing it as they go, and they're doing it together. As July 19th approaches, fans better be paying attention because this isn't just a fight, it's a moment, a lightning-in-a-bottle chapter where 2 of the sport's finest meet in the eye of the storm, preparing to unleash one of the most improbable, thrilling, and awe-inspiring comebacks we've seen in decades. So whether you're a fan of Pacquiao, Crawford, or just boxing done right, don't miss this. Because once these fights are over, the book might close for good. And what a final chapter it would be. Here's what you're not being told. This is not just a training camp, it's a cinematic crossover of boxing proportions. It's like if Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark decided to hit the same gym and spot each other on the bench press. Only here, the bench press is their entire reputation, and one wrong move could shatter their legacy like a torn rotator cuff. Terence. Crawford isn't just here to break a sweat. He's here to break the limits of what normal training looks like. Because let's face it, when you're training with a living, breathing boxing time machine like Manny Pacquiao, who can still punch like he's late for church in General Santos, you're not doing basic drills. You're rewriting the manual. You're breathing the same air as the man who traded punches with Mayweather, Morales, Marquez, and De La Hoya, and that's just a Tuesday for him. If boxing had a Mount Rushmore, Pacquiao wouldn't just be carved into it, he'd be shadow boxing. On top of it. Meanwhile, Crawford is the scientist in the lab, analyzing every angle, breaking down every move. He's not just running sprints, he's clocking foot placement like it's algebra. He's soaking up the Pacquiao method like gospel. You can almost hear him in the locker room muttering, "What would Manny do?" before throwing a left hook. For Crawford, this is like training next to a comet. You might never get another shot like this. And if you're wondering how this chemistry even works, 2 different generations, 2 different fighting styles don't. Because what's happening is something boxing rarely sees, a silent pact between gladiators. They don't need to talk about it. No PR rep is tweeting platitudes. They just show up, train, hurt, heal, and repeat, over and over, until their fists tell the truth on fight night. You think they're just trading combos in the gym? Nah, they're trading soul-level knowledge. Pacquiao, the tornado in sneakers, Crawford, the chess player in gloves, both figuring out how to become hurricanes in their own way. Every jab thrown has a hidden message. Every dodge is a masterclass. Every grunt is a lesson. You don't get this watching highlight reels. You only get this sweating in the same room as greatness. And just when you thought Pacquiao might be slowing down, just when you assumed this was a swan song, a nostalgia tour, a farewell concert, he storms out of the wildcard gym like he's reverse-aged 2 decades. His feet tap like drumsticks. His punches snap like firecrackers, and he has the nerve to smile mid-combination. The man is 46. So July 19th, clear your calendar. Put your phone on silent. Don't blink. Because what you're about to witness isn't just Manny versus Barrios. It's history showing up for one last round. It's Terence Crawford picking up the relics of greatness and reforging them into weapons for war. It's the past and the future crashing into the present, and it might just change everything. Oh, and if you're not hyped yet, go back and watch this again. And if you made it this far, you clearly appreciate the madness. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fight game mayhem, legacy talk, and training camp chaos. Because in a world full of talking heads, we bring you the real footwork. See you ringside.